Okay, so for this, as usually, we're going to just use an architectural template. And once I pull this architectural template up, which will take a couple of seconds. So once I'm in here, people, I am just going to start out by drawing a basic architectural wall. As a matter of fact, I'm going to take this 8-inch wall and just draw it and make this a building that is, you know, who cares? Just a rectangle right now of some size, okay? And then I'll go over to a 3D view, your basic 3D view. And in that 3D view, I'm going to set it to fine, and then I'm going to set it to shaded right now, okay, just for the time being. So the first thing I want to do is take this generic wall, and I'm going to create a new, I'm going to duplicate that and create maybe a wall that's 8 inches. I'm going to say um, aluminum panel, okay, 8 inch. And what I'm going to do first and foremost is go into the structure, and I'm going to insert a layer, right? So with this wall being 8 inch, I'm going to just say that the wall itself physically, the back wall, the backup portion of the wall structurally is 7 inches thick, and we're just going to say maybe this is going to be 1 inch thick. And I can even put a category behind that wall. What if I say it's going to be a concrete masonry unit, right? So and that's going to be close to what we're doing. CMU, concrete masonry units, and that's already set up. I don't need to do anything else to that. And so maybe this wall is set, and truthfully, people, a concrete masonry unit is about 8 inches, 7 and 5/8. We'll learn that in building technology, but we're just going to leave it at 7 for right now. And then this other category, we're going to come in and we're going to do something you probably haven't done yet. We're going to create a new material. So when I create that new material and I give it a name, it just goes to default new material. So what I have to do is click on it twice. Whoops, let's try that one more time. I should have just right clicked on it and said rename. And in order to make this go to the very top of my list, I'm going to use just a negative sign, right? And then I'm going to just call this ALUMIN, aluminum panel, right? And I'll say okay. And now it goes to the top of it should go about to the top of my list, right? Should have probably put a space in there too, but at least it's close. So the first thing you have to realize is that when I click on appearance, this object has nothing associated with it right now, right? Right now, the only graphics this has are these colors that are gray that are assigned for just the shaded graphic, but for realistic appearance, nothing is assigned to this. But notice I have opportunity to place an image here, right? And so for our very first one, I provided an image for all of us, and I'll show you where that image is. I'm just going to click on image, and then I'm going to go out to the V drive and classes, architecture, and the 255 and students. And if our friend Jake was here under his folder, whoops, exercises folder, there should be one that is called materials, and I'm not finding it there. Just one moment. Let's see. Let me see if I put it in other people's folders. Nope, hold on one second, guys. Recording now again. Okay, so if we looked under the exercise folder for any of you, it's this materials folder, and that is the actual file that we're going to use. So under my directory, my instructor directory, under exercises, under materials, each one of you has your own materials folder in your personal folder under the exercises folder, okay? That's a mouthful. All right, so I'm going to double click on that and say open, and now that image is assigned there. Now, one thing I want to do is make this area where it shows you what it looks like a little bigger. And I'm going to go over here to this selector and select the thumbnail we want to look at so you can see what this image looks like. I'm going to click on it, and in the scene, I'm going to say I want to see walls. Okay, I want to look at walls. And if you look at that on the wall right now, you can see how that image it's much too small, right? It's not really showing up like a panel. It looks like a bunch of little small things. Even if I make it bigger, you can't really tell, right? You can see how small it is. So I have to go do some things with the image. So as I come to the image, I have to change, whoops, some things about it, particularly the scale. Okay, so what we're going to do is, you can see if this is 1 by 1, that's not nearly large enough. Right now, we're going to just do some assuming. I'm going to assume maybe if I make this image proportionately something like, I don't know, 10 by 10 or 12 by 12, it'll work a little better, or it'll show up a little better. So when I go down here and I look at the, here, let me cancel this and open it up again. I can change the scale on this to a width of maybe 12 units, or I'm going to say 14 units right now. 14 space 0. And that should lock up. That should allow me to change that. So let me try that one more time. 14 feet dash 0 inches. And let's see if it, now let's say 14 feet 0 inches. And I'll lock that. Now, did you see the way this changed now? Now that looks a lot more like an actual panel, like it could be a panel. So now that I've got that assigned, I'm going to hit done. We're not truly done, but I'm going to hit done for now. I'm going to hit apply, and I'm going to hit OK. And then I'm going to hit OK, and OK one more time. And now you're seeing, hey, I don't see my aluminum panel. Well, why is that? Well, if we go back to level 1 and I click on this, notice what's wrong. My panel is on the inside, right? So I need to flip all those out. I drew the wall in the wrong direction. I do that often. But now as I go back to that screen, you see I'm not seeing anything, but if I change to a realistic view, let's see if we get anything. Now we have what looks like that aluminum panel. Now, we're not truly finished yet, but what I want you to do is I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to kind of catch up to me and get that applied. And then in the next video, we're going to learn how we actually come back to some other views, like maybe a hidden view, and make that pattern show up on the wall even in a hidden 2D, not 2D, but hidden view that has a different graphic display. Okay, that's what we're looking at, graphic displays and how materials are affected by them. So go ahead, work through the first part of this exercise. In about 10 minutes, we'll pick back up and we'll come in and we'll start fixing this little by little.